Good evening, I'm Kathy Lewis, and here's what matters tonight. If you've ever built a home, you're probably accustomed to delays, which makes what's happening in the Huntersville section of Suffolk and in 2 peninsula communities even more amazing. All this week, area developers have come together to build 19 homes for Habitat for Humanity, all in 1 week. It's a life-changing opportunity for the families, and if history is any indicator, it'll be transformative for the surrounding communities as well. It's called a blitz build, and they're going on all over the country. But no build is bigger than the one right in South Hampton Roads. Just how does a Habitat for Humanity home change lives? Lisa Godley introduces us to a family that now owns a Habitat home in Portsmouth, and she tours an area in Suffolk that started the week as a build site and will finish the week as a neighborhood.
It's been 2 years since Carolyn Knowles' dream of owning her own home became a reality. Carolyn and her grandson Gerard moved into one of 10 homes Habitat for Humanity built in Portsmouth's Brighton community in 2006.
But it's a good feeling, you know, to know that you have your own, especially when you've been renting all your life or whatever. Maybe some people had houses before, but it's a good feeling to move into your own brand new home. It makes a difference. It really does.
Carolyn says the biggest adjustment was realizing she was on her own if something breaks. Her days of picking up the phone and calling the landlord were over. She was now the landlord.
If something goes wrong, I could call my landlord. If something goes wrong now, it's on me. Not complaining, no, never. God made this possible, you know. But it is a difference. But I'm enjoying it. I love it.
And so is 13-year-old Gerard, who says his favorite things to do in his room are playing video games and having sleepovers. Gerard also has advice for new kids getting ready to move into a Habitat home.
You would be surprised and excited because they do a really good job and they help you out with a lot of different things. So if you wanted like a room certain color or you wanted like some kind of door or design that you wanted, they'll do it and they will really help you out.
Reverend Clifford Barnett pastors Brighton Rock AME Zion Church, which sits not far from the Knowles home and several other Habitat homes. His church distributed food to the volunteers who helped build the homes during the 2006 Blitz. He says the Habitat homes have not only changed the look of the community, but have helped change people's image of what the Brighton community is all about.
In my opinion, anytime you can add resources to a community, I think it strengthens the people in the community. I think we have a great community anyway, but one of the things that people need is they need adequate housing. And so being able to put 10 new homes in a community really invigorated the community. If I clean up my yard, it encourages the person next to me to clean up their yard. And so everybody just starts helping each other. And it's a great place to live.
And Carolyn Knowles couldn't agree more.
It's just a beautiful feeling. I can't really explain it. The first thing I said was to God be the glory, because He made it possible, and thank God for Habitat. But it's a beautiful feeling to walk in and look around and like, this is mine, you know, this is mine. You know, it's just a good feeling.
The Blitz in Portsmouth in 2006 enabled 10 families to move into new homes. This Blitz in the northern end of Suffolk is the largest in the U.S. and will allow 16 families to realize their dreams of becoming homeowners. The CEO for Habitat for Humanity International, Jonathan Reckford, was all smiles after meeting with some of the volunteers, not to mention a family of 7 that will soon move from a trailer that was starting to fall apart into a brand new Habitat home.
And what we see is when kids grow up in a safe, decent home, they get on a whole different trajectory. They stay healthier, they do better in school, and there's a whole sense of psychological well-being that sends them on a different path.
All of the families moving into Habitat homes had to meet a certain criteria. They had to be unable to qualify for a conventional mortgage. They had to put at least 350 hours of their own sweat into the building process. They were required to attend financial prep classes for new homeowners and be willing to pay a low mortgage. For the majority, these are minimal requirements for being able to have a home they can call their very own.
Everybody who gives receives, and everyone who receives gives. If you want to stay complacent and uninspired, stay away from Habitat. Come close to Habitat and it will change you and make you part of something that changes the world.
For What Matters, I'm Lisa Godley.
And fresh from the build sites, we are happy to have with us tonight the board chairs for the Habitat for Humanity affiliates on both sides of the water. Chip Slavin joins us from the Hampton Roads affiliate, where he chairs the board, and leading the board on the peninsula and having been involved since the early 80s is Bill Bowman. We're also happy to welcome Latrice Grant, who is the owner of a Habitat for Humanity home in the Brighton community that you saw in Lisa's report. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Abby.
Chip Slavin, as you look at the work that's underway this week in Suffolk, it really is an extraordinary thing to start the week really with nothing but empty ground and finish the week with completely built homes. And I guess a lot of that credit goes to these developers.
Actually, a lot of it goes to the planning. We've had meetings going on for the last 6 months, but it's still an amazing sight to see. At 7 o'clock in the morning, we have a little ceremony. We blew a horn, and by noon, the walls were up. By about 2 o'clock, most of the roofs were up. So it's an amazing sight to see an entire community spring out of a flat area.
Yeah, and of course, the same thing is happening on the peninsula as well. Bill Bowman, you have, I think, 2 homes going up in Williamsburg.
In James City County, correct.
And then another in the east end of Newport
That's
News?
correct,
Yeah.
yes.
And so this is a little bit of a different model in that they're not all sort of in one area. What is different about that in terms of the approach?
Well, it depends on the availability of land for us. And one of our building partners has been the municipalities of each of these places being able to provide us land, or individuals who own land being able to partner with us and help us to develop these parcels. In the Williamsburg, James City County area, it's in the Newtown area, which, as you know, is just developing and growing
Sure.
and thriving. And so we're very happy to be associated and nearby that community as well. And the East End continues to mature as we put new Habitat homes in that area as well.
That's going to be so interesting to see how the East End of Newport News changes. And we talk about this idea of Habitat and the work that it does in terms of transforming neighborhoods. And I suspect the East End of Newport News is a place where you will begin to see that happen over time.
Oh, most definitely. Just the profile of the Habitat families living there, as Mr. Reckford referred to earlier, it just changes the whole fabric of the community as well.
Right. And we're so happy to have Latrice Grant with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about your home.
Well, I live in Brighton, and I have a 2-story, 3-bedroom house, and really nice landscape. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful home.
Yeah. Where had you been living previously? I mean, what was your circumstance that caused you to look to be part of the Habitat program?
I was previously a renter, and one of my landlords sent me a small article in the mail. It was about 4 or 5 lines, and said, I think you might be interested with the Habitat website. And I was cleaning out my purse one day during my lunch break, and I decided, now let me see what this, website is all about. And I printed out the application and completed everything I needed to. And I did that on a Friday. It was due on Monday, so I got it to the post office, had it stamped, and they called me that Wednesday.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. The other homeowner, your neighbor, who we saw in the piece talking about the idea that that it's the transition from being a renter to being a homeowner. What has that been like for you?
Interesting. It is quite a difference being responsible for things that usually the landlord is responsible for. But thankfully, Habitat did a wonderful job along with the other partners. My home is a very sturdy home. I haven't had any major problems with my house. And the one incident that I did have was after my 1-year warranty, so I was a little nervous.
Sure.
But I got on the telephone, and my support advocate at Habitat, she instructed me to call my builder, and he sent somebody out free of charge after my warranty had expired. And they took a look, and it was not anything that was constructionally wrong with the house. It was a problem with some lines that were going underneath the house, and Dominion Power came out and fixed the problem. They were very courteous, and no charge did I incur at all.
Wow, that's fantastic. You talked about your support advocate. I guess that's a key piece of the program.
Yes, it is. Cheryl Moore works for Habitat for Humanities, and she's one of the instructors.
So she teaches the courses in terms of...
She teaches the courses. She walks us through all the paperwork. It's quite a lengthy process purchasing a home. And for somebody who's just getting started, it's nice to have somebody there to walk you through we feel comfortable asking her about anything, and she lets us know way before the process is completed what to expect. So nothing's like a total shock.
Nothing's a surprise for you. Good job. Chip Slavin, as you think about, one of the things we know is that certainly research tells us that the path to wealth building over time and to getting out of poverty is often described as home ownership. And so these homes that Habitat is building this week, the 19 on the south side of the peninsula, these folks will walk into these properties with some equity already existing because they're being built at cost, and a lot of the services are donated, and then they have low-cost loans associated with them. So they will be walking into some equity right away.
Exactly. In fact, one of the misconceptions is that Habitat gives away homes. Of course, we don't give away homes, we sell them. The difference is we sell them at cost. And that cost is the materials we buy, including those materials that are given to us. So all that is added up. What isn't in there, isn't in the price of the home, the mortgage that they pay, are the labor, free labor, zero interest. We hold the mortgages and there's zero interest on that, and there's zero profit as well. So all that is the difference between what normal contractors do and us. So there's some instant equity. Once we get to a point where the house is built, now it gets assessed. So the difference between what we cost, what we charge them for their mortgage, and that assessed value is instant equity. Now, we put something in the mortgage so that they can't flip the house and make money on it. We get the right of first refusal to buy it back as well. But over time, we allow our partners to eat into that equity.
The partners meaning the homeowners?
The homeowner partners. After the first 5 years, they can participate in 1/3 of it. After 10, 2/3, and after 15 years, all of it. And always anything that accrues after that, normal rise in prices is theirs as well. So we're making good tax-paying citizens with a little wealth in some equity instantly.
Yeah, it's a great point. And Bill Bowman, as you see the organization working with families over time, we've talked about this idea of the building of equity and how it changes families. You've been involved on the peninsula with the Peninsula affiliate since the 80s, and you started this having been inspired by the work that Jimmy Carter has been doing. How have you seen that process change over time?
Well, we went from just one house a year, one house at a time, to, wow, we can do more with bringing on new partners. Some of the major companies on the peninsula have partnered with us to provide not only just financial support, but material support, but most of all, their people. We find some of the major companies over there, Coldwell Banker, Northrop Grumman, Ferguson Enterprises, have been extremely supportive of us, not just with materials, but more so with the human side of things by providing their people to be volunteers. And so because of that, what we have been able to just grow over the years, we've been able to build more and more and more.
I wonder what your experience has been this year, because we know that the financial industry has been hit pretty hard. The development, the real estate industry has been hit pretty hard in terms of the economy. Did you get the kind of support this year that you were hoping for the Blitz build?
Sure. We got more than what we thought we were going to get. We have some incredible builders, some of the most reputable builders on the peninsula that have partnered with us to help us build these homes. They too enjoy giving back to the community, being able to be a part of something that's going to just help the overall community grow.
And Latrice, I'm wondering, have you become part of that? Has that Brighton community sort of embraced the new Habitat homeowners?
Yes. In the piece earlier, like the Reverend was saying, it's a treat. Now, when you go out to cut your grass, somebody else across the street who doesn't usually cut their grass has put forth a little extra initiative to fix up their property as well, and then be attentive to their property as well. And the whole community at large is really taking us under their wings. The community police department, they patrol out there more so than what I saw previously, and It's just really nice. I think they've taken really good care of us.
And you're employed by the Portsmouth school system as a kindergarten aide. So this idea of being able to live in the city in which you also work must be an attractive piece of that for you as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And Chip Slavin, I know that you did, the board on the south side did some arrangements with the city of Suffolk to get this tract of land, because land is always an issue. Even though the real estate market is what it is, land is still expensive. How did that process work out?
Like Bill said, it's always probably our toughest problem year after year after year is getting land.
Right.
We're trying to perhaps get some kind of a land bank to eat off of it as the years come up. But right now, we purchased the land this time off a developer that gave us a very good deal, and he donated a part of the land, part of it we bought, and the city of Suffolk gave us some seed money to start the project. But just to let you know the size of this, it was $2.3 million project, and it was about 5 times bigger than anything we've ever done before in Habitat South Hampton Roads. So 16 homes. We also built a cul-de-sac, a street, put in the infrastructure and the curbing and all that was very, very expensive. But as Bill said, there's, we don't really build houses at Habitat. We really feed off of the generosity and the commitment of the people in the communities that we serve. And they step forward. And we're still working on it. We're still not completely paid for, but we're borrowing some money to make sure that the project is completed, and it will be completed on time. And you saw it the other day, but today they're actually starting to lay some sod, so it's going to be an instant neighborhood. So there's going to be grass and trees, and what was a dust bowl on Monday morning.
It is an amazing thing, and the thing I always wonder about is how are these developers going to tell their clients that it really takes so much longer to build things when now they know they can do it in a week?
I know nothing. I don't want to say that on public TV. I don't want to get them in trouble right now. But their suppliers and their subcontractors are really what makes it.
And that whole planning process and staging all of that.
Hundreds of them, literally hundreds of people. And just to let you know, we feed everybody every day, and we had to go out and solicit food for 800 each day. So we have a whole team of people from the Navy to people just called up and said, I want to come, to different groups of people who donated to us and said, hey, can we send somebody to give a day off for our company? And they came out and droves
kind of catches fire, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It looks like it has that electric atmosphere like an old-fashioned barn raising is going on. The community gets together, and it's just absolute, the most fun you could ever do. And if there's any of your viewers out there who would like to do it, give us a call on both sides of the water, and
I suspect we take some volunteers.
Oh yeah, lots of volunteers. Yes,
more the merrier.
And this is such a great point, because this week, what's happening this week in this blitz build is really, made possible by the fact that you have professional developers who know what they're doing, and they know how to do these things as quickly as possible. But that doesn't mean that the person who is not a professional developer, that there's not a place for them within the organization.
Oh, that's correct. We have thrived for years on just the volunteers, church groups, college groups, youth groups coming to us during the week, spring break, weekends, and summers to help us build. And that's pretty much until we've got this idea from National Habitat about doing the splits build. That's how we built the houses, is mainly through volunteer labor. So most of the houses in the years past were done on weekends when the most people were available. But now we've developed to the point where we have on our staffs, we have developers, a building construction person, and we're able to garner some volunteers during the week, and we're able to do more construction because of more volunteers being available. It's amazing the number of people who just give her their time, whether they're still working or they're retired, and still come to our sites and just want to help people achieve home ownership.
This blitz build concept is, I think, just a couple of years old, if I'm not mistaken. And do you see more of this coming down the road, this idea of engaging the building community, be able to turn homes around quickly for people?
I personally think so. Now, the original blitz build, which was 2 years ago, 2006, was actually supposed to be a one-time thing to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Habitat for Humanity International. And then enough affiliates throughout the country, and by the way, there are 1,700 affiliates around the country, said, hey, let's try to do this again. It's good publicity. It's good for our advocacy program of telling everybody, hey, housing is still an issue, housing is still an issue. So it gets the word out very well. So we tried it again here. I think it would be tough to support a blitz bill every year, but I think every 2 to 3 years you could probably do one.
Do you agree with that, Bill?
I agree with that, yeah. It's the first thing Chip had mentioned is the whole planning process and the planning of this and getting the builders in line with us. And as we continue to do this, we find new builders and new developers and who want to be involved in this, but it's a great deal of planning, a great deal of time. So yeah, we'd probably look to doing it every other year or something like that, just because of the immense task that it is.
Sure. The great thing, too, as I understand it, is that a lot of the builders who originally become involved in it are repeat builders this time around. So it's not something that they do once and say, my goodness, I never want to do that again. They come back.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We sure do. Yeah.
And you, Latrice, your builder was Ken Jolly, and
Yes.
you actually went out to the Suffolk site, I understand, to track him down at the Suffolk build, because he's back doing doing another home in Suffolk as well. And so tell us about that relationship with the builder, the family's relationship with the builder along the way.
It's a growing process. When I first met Mr. Jolly out at the, I met him a few months before the actual build took place, and we got to do some little legwork, picking out light fixtures, picking out carpets, and what color the siding is going to be, and things of that nature. But along the way, we just developed a really good friendship. And over the past 2 years, I've been able to keep in contact with Mr. Jolly. One of the things is my home was a partnership with Habitat and a lot of many components in the community, the Portsmouth Partnership, Redevelopment and Housing Authority, Portsmouth Public Schools. Many people contributed, and one of the classes that I was afforded the opportunity to take was the LUFCO Leadership Development class.
Really?
And that's one of the boards that Ken Jolly sits on. So since the bill, I've been able to really keep in contact, and I developed a new friendship. I think Ken is going to be a part of our family.
That's great, and I know he would love that. Ken Jolly's a great guy, and I'm quite sure he would love that. This point that you're making is really well taken in terms of the ways that these families do become part of a community, do step up into leadership roles when those opportunities present themselves. I presume you feel more confident about those opportunities and have a better exposure to them.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I don't think had I not came in contact with Habitat for Humanities, I don't think those opportunities would have been afforded to me. Mm-hmm. I think just a small Habitat, they're building more than just homes. They're building, they're investing in the future. Those houses are just a tool. They're just one part of Habitat. One thing that when we first started taking the classes is we really didn't know that Habitat was a part of a ministry. And I think a lot of times the public see just the house, but it's a little bit more than the house.
Well, Latrice Grant, you said it very well, and thank you for joining us tonight. That was beautifully said. We'll all be over for dinner tonight. Hope that's not a problem. I'm kidding. But congratulations on your house, and we should also note, I think we have a couple of pictures of your house as well. I don't know if they were putting those up along the way or not, but we do have a couple of pictures of your house, and so we're glad to have those because we'll put those on our wall as well. Thanks very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Chip Slavin, congratulations on the biggest blitz build in the country. Thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you,
and Bill Bowman, thank you for being involved so early and so consistently over the years. And congratulations on the 3 builds in the peninsula as well. And we'll be back in just a moment with a final thought. In the interest of full disclosure, you should know that I have served for 3 years now on the Hampton Roads Habitat for Humanity Board of Directors. Along with other volunteers, I work on a committee that chooses from hundreds of applications the families that will have the opportunity to purchase a Habitat home. And we're looking for families that meet 2 critical criteria: need and the ability to pay. Establishing need, I don't have to tell you, is rarely a problem. But the families for whom Habitat is a good fit it are those who have steady income with prospects for job growth. They are families that have imperfect but improvable credit scores. They are, frankly, families who have a shot at climbing out of poverty. Serving on this committee is not unlike that old saw about the fellow walking on a beach strewn with starfish that had washed ashore. He ran back and forth, picking up one starfish after the other, hurling them back out into the sea. A bystander said, "You must be crazy. There are thousands of starfish and you can't possibly make a difference." Scooping to pick up another starfish, the man turned and said, "Well, it sure made a difference to that one." It seems to me that climbing out of poverty is just such an experience. One family will make it and another won't. But many professionals here in Hampton Roads who have dedicated their lives to helping families lift themselves out of poverty say that housing is the first and crucial step. If you can get families out of a perpetual housing crisis and into affordable homes, they can shift their focus to getting the kind of education and training that will take them beyond minimum wage and out of poverty once and for all. Programs like Habitat can't make a difference for every family, but they sure make a difference for Latrice Grant and the other families who this weekend will be moving into new homes and new futures. We'd like to hear about what matters to you. You can write us at 5200 Hampton Boulevard, Norfolk, Virginia 23508. You can call us at 889-9437. Or we always love to get your emails at whatmatters@WHRO.org. And if you're interested in volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, that's easily done as well. Just log on to habitat.org and they will send you to the affiliates that serve this region on the peninsula and the south side. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.